Lee Hogan and welcome to another episode of MXTV. I'm joined, of course, by Brendan Bell. Welcome, Belly.
Thanks, Lee, mate. It is good to have you back, buddy. What have you been up to?
Well, look, I was away last time. I had a riding school off in South Australia, but hey, it's great to be back, I tell you.
It certainly is, and we've got a massive show tonight, don't we?
We sure do, so let's get into it. On today's show, we tag along with Kawasaki for the Day on the Green ride. We speak to former World Enduro champion Shane Watts. Belly rides Jason Anderson's factory Husky, and I test the 2017 Yamaha Yz250 F. All this and much more. Yep, we're definitely in store for a big show today, that's for sure.
Oh, it's going to be massive, Lee, and I cannot wait for it. I'll give you a heads up as well, buddy. Later on in the show, there could be a lap record broken at the Baker factory on El Hombre's bike.
What are we talking, slow race here or what?
What?
All right, let's check out the Kawasaki's Day on the Green.
2 years ago, we came up with the concept of a customer ride, so we put a bit of a spin on it and we called it Day on the Green machines. Obviously, the colour coordination with Kawasaki, and it's something that we've tried to run nearly every year.
So this is a day that's run by Brian Hands of Hands on Motorcycles in Lilydale. He gets all these great customers together on their fantastic Kawasaki machines, and there's a two-ride component. So they do an off-ride component and a road component. And we all meet here, converge here at the Reefton's Pub, cheeky beer, something to eat, and then they're back on the road. Being obviously fully supportive of Brian, we think it's a fantastic event. It's great to see so many green machines and everybody having a great time and lots of dirt.
Should be a good day. You looking forward to it?
Yeah, it's been probably 8 months, I reckon, since I've been on this thing, so...
Oh, you're pride, mate. Ready to go. Lots of Ks under you.
Yeah.
Each year, we send out invitations to our customers and our Kawasaki supported riders. We get Todd Kelly from Nissan Motorsport, never missed a round. Dale Wood this year's come along also. And we're very lucky that Robert Walker has actually flown down from Sydney to oversee the whole thing. So we get the road and the dirt. It really is testament to our customers and the people that support my event that they turn out. Tough conditions out there, but they're having a lot of fun and we get everyone through.
What do you reckon so far?
Grouse. Real good. Considering the rain we've had, it is, yeah, that's good. And this, best thing I've ridden so far.
It was a bit dodgy this morning. We woke up and there was quite a bit of rain and put a dampener on the start, but as the ride went on, it got better and better, and on the way back after lunch, I reckon that was probably one of the best rides that we've had. A little bit of dust started to come up and a few slippery spots and a few really grippy spots, and the main thing is we're all back in one piece, and as usual, Brian did an unbelievable job organising the day and making sure we all got back safe and sound, so thanks Brian.
Day actually, but I remember standing here this morning, I think Brian was a bit worried. He sort of thought that he'd ruined the day with the weather and all that, but it couldn't have been better. We got Scotty Foster from Polyfloor, we got him on off his KTM 500 onto a KLX 450, and it looks like he's never been happier, so really good day. Conditions are awesome and heaps of laughs, nobody hurt. A couple of people put them down. I might have put my bike down a couple of times, but on purpose, just so everyone else felt good about themselves, and yeah, rip a day. Can't wait till next year.
Welcome back to MXTV thanks to Swan Insurance. Well, Shane Watts is one of the most recognised dirt bike riders in the world after winning a World Enduro Championship and a GNCC Championship. Now for 17 years he made the USA home, but he's back here in Australia and he's running his Dirtwise school, so we thought we'd catch up with him and see what he's up to.
My name's Shane Watts from the Dirtwise riding schools. Conduct our schools all across Australia and the world, and we focus on improving off-road riders and their riding skills and abilities. To do that, we work on a lot of skills exercises. It really fast tracks their learning and helps them become better riders a lot quicker. We also have a full range of our Dirtwise instructional DVDs that covers all the skills that you are faced with out on the trail and all the situations. So it really helps out on everyone be those better riders, be safer, be faster, and use less energy. During the schools, we work on a lot of the skills exercises, and we isolate those in a safe environment and practice them to fast track our learning. We do brake slide exercise, so you can pivot the bike out on the trail really quickly to miss obstacles. Nice one, Pete. Go spin it, spin it. Go slide on around and nearly stop, virtually stop, then roost out of there. We do log slide, which is grinding. So you use that on side angle hill situations. So you see it throws me to the other side, the rear tire hooking up. Gotta hang out to the right side. We do corner ruts, which are essential for out on the trail. Lots of log hopping, wheelies, all that sort of type stuff. So yeah, we just really maximize all the riders' learning and their improvement so as they're better riders out on the trail. We've got the 6 key points of the standing position. Foot pegs, middle of the boot, toes over the brake lever, legs fairly well straight, bend your hips, all that. Fingers on the controls. We're going to, then for our balance, be looking ahead. Looking ahead gives us better balance. Our Dirtwise schools are a 2-day program, and easiest way to find info out about them is to go to our website, shanewatts.com, or send us an email at dirtwise@shanewatts.com, and we'll get back to you with you quickly and get you the info when we're coming to your area next. Our Dirtwise schools, I do every single one of them, so we keep our numbers low, so as then we get a one-on-one attention to each student. So our schools fill up really fast as well. World-renowned with our program. It's acclaimed as being, if not one of the best, but if not the best riding school in the world for off-road riding. So if you want to come and join us, you better get on it quick, and hopefully we'll see you there.
G'day guys, today I thought I'd talk to you about the Kawasaki project bikes and more importantly the performance parts on the bikes. So how we went about getting these parts was a very easy process. All I had to do was go to the Link International website, enter the bike's details, and then a list of parts came up and away I went shopping. As you can see, Link have a whole range of parts for the bike. Pirelli tyres, Motul oils, States MX performance parts, high-low air filters, Ferodo brakes, RK chains, Polysports plastics. As you can see, there's a whole range of things that you can pick for your model bike. And it's as simple as just loading in the details of your bike and wow, there it is. All the parts come up that are available for your bike. Link packaged the parts, shipped them off to me, I put them on the bike and have a look at the bike, it looks fantastic. We're so stoked with the way the project bikes turned out this year, and the process of picking the performance parts for the bikes was such a simple task. I sat at my desk, clicked away, and they were there within a couple of days. Could not have been easier. So if you want some parts for Christmas or you just want to do your bike up, go to linkint.com.au. Alright, let's talk about Jason Anderson's race bike. Now this bike isn't much different to Marvin Musquin's bike in the engine department. It's got a lot of hit down low and it revs real quick, and it's obviously got a lot of over rev as well, but it's not like Ryan Dungey's where his is a lot more torquier and you roll the throttle on. These things are a little bit more explosive out of corners. Now you can tell with the way that Jason rides, he likes to ride with his back wheel, he steers with his back wheel, so his power comes on quickly and sharply. The brakes, this is where it gets a little bit different. Jason runs his back brake with a lot of play in it, so it's really, really odd that it has this free play where it takes a little bit before you actually engage the brakes. I found that hard. In the suspension department, just like all the other guys, quite stiff, as you would expect with them, but works very, very well. Bike always tends to go in a straight line. It tracks straight, it doesn't move, it doesn't deviate, it just goes straight. He runs his handlebars very neutral, his lever's a little bit neutral, a little bit higher than neutral, nothing too odd there. These bikes are very similar to stock with a little bit more bottom end. They don't need that much more power than anyone else. It's more personalised for them, just more about how they run their brakes. And so that's something that I was very surprised with these factory bikes. They're nothing real different to a standard bike. It really isn't night and day between a race bike and a standard bike. It just is personalised for these guys, and that's what we just got to get our heads around. The engines are fast, but they don't need more horsepower. They're just a personalised bike for a very fast racer.
Welcome to this week's BCP Rider Tip. Now for this episode, we're going to be taking a look at ruts. Now I know in the past we've covered ruts before, but with all of these ride parks popping up around the country at the moment, we've never seen ruts this deep, almost resembling that of AMA over in America. So we're going to try to take you through a bit of a process, work through step by step and get you a little bit more comfortable in this deep, gnarly part of the track. Now, if I could encapsulate in one word what ruts are all about, it's being smooth. If you try to rush ruts, you're going to make a mistake without a doubt. Well, let's break ruts into 3 separate parts. And we'll start off with entry of the corner, and this is the most critical part of the corner without a doubt. If you muck up your entry, it's almost impossible to turn it into a good, successful mid and exit of the rut. So when you come into the corner, first of all, you need to get your braking zone right, and don't leave your braking till too late, because if you're still braking when those wheels start to get into that deep part of the rut, it tries to tip your bike up, and that's the last thing that we want to do in a rut. When we get to the mid part of the corner, you need to make sure that you've already selected the right gear. A slightly higher gear will allow you to tractor your way all the way through the ruts. You really need to make sure that you've got your legs sorted and that it's out with a nice pointed toe. And what we're trying to do is to get the sole of our boot to be as close to parallel with the ground as we can. If it touches the ground, we want it to slide across. If your toe's pointing straight up, your heel is going to wedge into the ground, bounces your knee up, does all kinds of damage, and quite often will cause a crash as well. Then finally, we move into the exit of the corner, which of course is where we generate our slingshot speed onto the straight. You need to make sure that you're looking a long way ahead out of the corner, because if you're just looking straight down to that front fender, you're almost guaranteed to get cross-rutted in this super critical part of the corner. Well, Shane Boyd's Park 4 MX in Victoria is the location for today's test. And what we are testing is the brand new Yamaha Yz250 F. What a sensational bike. Relatively unchanged from 2016. However, there's a couple of very important features and upgrades that we need to mention. Let's start off in the engine department. Yamaha already had a very strong 250F machine here. However, they've made a few changes to the engine just to try to give it a little bit more punch. They've given us brand new camshafts, they've given us a new intake port and a new connecting rod, and a couple of fine-tuning little aspects mainly designed to try to up the mid-range punch a little bit. They've changed the engine mount brackets just to add a little bit extra rigidity and to slightly change the positioning of the engine, all aimed at trying to give it a little bit more of a nicer settled feel in the corners. And one of the main features of the Yamaha 250F, just like its big brother the 450, is the engine is completely spun around, so the header pipe comes out the back of the engine instead of the front. The petrol tank's completely relocated and much more centralised mass. It completely changes the handling characteristics and they actually get a little bit more horsepower out of the bike as well. Now the 450 has had this characteristic for an extra year over the 250, but the 250 F is well and truly into the swing of things now. Had it last year and they continued with it into 2017. The track here today, Boydie's put it on for us, let me tell you, is in sensational condition, and it just made basically anything you were going to ride out there feel spectacular, and it really allowed you to put the bike through its paces in corners, jumps, a lot of traction. I'm super impressed with this bike. It felt nice and light, nice and nimble. The suspension handled exceptionally well, and it felt really balanced. I noticed it's got a very nice light clutch pull, and up against some of its competitors, it's got hydraulic clutches nowadays. It could be easy to get a little bit critical on how hard it is to pull in a cable clutch. No problem for the Yamaha, nice and strong. Our front brake worked exceptionally well, nice and strong, and when you've got so much traction like we had today, you can really get on those brakes nice and hard. This thing will stop on a dime. I really enjoyed the motor and how it pulls off the bottom. It almost has a 450-like bottom end. A lot of torque, where a lot of other 250s you'd have to pull a lower gear. This thing here, you can afford to pull a taller gear and it really will tractor out of the corners. Another cool feature about this bike, that's very innovative with Yamaha, we've got a toolless air filter accessibility, which means no tools needed to get to that air filter. So overall, a sensational package. The ergos, the feel of the bike hasn't really changed much from last year. However, these new engine changes, you can definitely notice a little bit of a pep up in the motor department and getting up and over some of those tricky jumps out there. There's some big hits here at Park 4. No problem whatsoever on this machine. A very competitive bike that I guarantee you is going to feature right up there come shootout time. Looking forward to see how it goes. So Yamaha fans out there, look into it a little bit more, do your research. It could be a bike of choice.
For all your insurance needs, visit swaninsurance.com.au.
Well, thanks so much for joining us. If you missed out on anything you wanted to see on the show, download the +7 app. You can watch it all again. Thank you for joining us. We're going to see you next time on MXTV. Until then, make sure that you hold on!